Welcome, Legion, to my review for Flatout Total Insanity. Flatout 4 Total Insanity, to be exact. However, it is not the fourth entry in the series. It's actually the sixth and seventh. So there was originally a game called Flatout Head-On for PlayStation Portable, which is kind of a racing game that emphasized arcade destruction. There was a game called Flatout for the original Xbox, and November 5th, 2004 actually had it, and Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 2 and Linux. Flatout 2 released in 2006, Flatout Ultimate Carnage 2007, Flatout 3 Chaos and Destruction 2011, and finally in 2017 was the release of Flatout 4 Total Insanity. Now, despite it being total insanity, and there's a few things that Flatout does right. Let me address those before I just rip into this game. The game looks really cool. The cars sound really good. The soundtrack is not terrible. Some of them are licensed tracks, so I'm going to address that. So that those sound good. But the tracks that they clearly just like hired some amateur musician off the street to play aren't that good. But they all kind of sound like the band Beartooth. If you're not familiar with the Beartooth, it's like Beartooth's kind of like hardcore, post-hardcore kind of thing, like Of Mice and Men sort of thing. He was the original singer for Attack Attack, which is also a post-hardcore band. Look up some of those songs, man. Pocahontas, Sexual Man Chocolate, all good stuff. Some good Of Mice and Men songs. I'm going to plug this because why not? We're here. Our Second and Sebring, and I'm a Monster. Now, these post-hardcore songs are on everyone's jam, but despite some of them being regular punk tracks, they all pretty much sound like Beartooth. Not exactly heavy death metal like Black Dahlia sort of, but they're alright. The cars sound really good. If you want to turn on the soundtrack, put it on your Spotify. The sounds of the cars are really mean and angry, and they really give you the feel of kind of like a junkyard dog kind of car that's just been like thrown together by a bunch of mechanics in the Lower East Side, and it's just run to break. It's a shame that they don't run like that. Now, there's a lot of upgrades to the car mechanics. You can upgrade your acceleration and your handling and your grip and your tires. But I will tell you, all you need to do, really, is upgrade your acceleration and handling aspects. Because these cars handle like trash. They're terrible. It doesn't matter if you're driving a Jeep Wrangler or a little Bug. The car that you start out with when you start out the original career modes is awful, and you're going to barely scrape by winning. You're going to actually have to replay a lot of races and really grind to get the most out of these cars. There's a lot of things wrong with the handling, and the reason that you have to upgrade the handling and only the handling and acceleration is everyone's car is going to be faster than yours. You're going to wonder why everyone is like miles ahead of you all the time. It's because their cars are fully upgraded when they race you, but yours are not. So you actually have to rely on just like ramming into them and knocking them out of the road. But the issue with that also is that unlike, the trucks in real life where, go over a pothole, go over something like that, you keep on going, in Flatout, everything you hit slows you down tremendously. I mean, you lose so much speed. You go from 90 to like 10 miles an hour. It's horrible. When you hit other people, well, that sounds like a cool thing to do and, might get you by in other racing games. Even like Forza, realistic racing games like that, or Grid, or even Gravel, which is sort of like an arcade racing game. Hitting other people in this game tremendously slows you down, and a lot of times you do it to get out of the way. The only time that I would recommend hitting somebody else is if you're right behind them, because any other time you're going to clip the side of them, they're going to make you spin out. Everything in this game makes you spin out. There's no driving line, and no, you can't turn one on because it's supposed to be a hardcore racer. But handling these cars in any environment, snow, water, or just playing gravel is terrible. Everything that they clip onto, if you jump your car too high and you don't land it right, you will fail. You will miss the race by that 1 second or 2 seconds. Drifting around corners is a nightmare. You pretty much have to jam the brake and let off the acceleration and accelerate out of the turns, which is a normal thing in games. But there's saving graces of the game. There are these little kind of like mini games that they have that are pretty cool, and you just kind of go around and drive through these little hoops and launch your character on a slalom or play baseball with your character. I'm actually going to show that part. It's really funny. And they're really cool distractions from that main game, and that's just the flat-out mode. That's not the racing mode. The actual racing is terrible. There's so many other games that you can play that are way better at handling the racing aspects. But the fun party game aspect Yeah, this is a good game to play with your friends that can't really play games that well that are actually racing. But I would recommend these party games to anyone. There's so many things about this game that could have been fixed. Like, when your car hits anything, why does your car just like completely lose all function? I mean, yeah, car crashes are a big deal in real life, but in an arcade racer like this, even if you're playing one of those ones you go to Dave & Buster's, you play at the arcade, you think that they would handle themselves a little bit better. And they do. They handle themselves better than this. They actually correct their courses when you're driving this fast. Flatout does not do that for you. Everything in the environment will slow you down, and if you hit too many things, you will lose every race. Fortunately, the AI also suffers from this problem. They also can't handle themselves when they hit things. So sometimes when you're in last, you'll be able to come in first if you persevere and hold the line. You must hold that invisible line in this game or you will not win races. But other than that, it's a super fun game. I recommend just playing it for a little bit just to like feel the ridiculousness of it. But anyone that doesn't just worship car games, realistically, playing this racing game is going to be very difficult for them. There's so many aspects of the weight reduction, and you just have to like know how much your car weighs and invest so much time in putting acceleration and handling, because everything in this game handles terribly, and every single car that you need to win the championships in the long run is stupid expensive, and you're going to have to play these same 5 or 6 tracks over and over again to unlock those cars. And it's just kind of a nightmare to see this kind of game that had so much potential to be this really sweet arcade racer where we're getting like, you know, the Burnout kind of style thing, but with the scheduled races. I would even recommend, there's this series called Danger Zone or Dangerous Driving, which is a series which is a lot cheaper than this game. I think it's like $19, and that actually handles this way better, only because it has those aspects of Burnout and the ability to boost and recover your car in an easy manner, where everything in this game is a headache, and AI characters will go out of their way to just hit you. The online aspect is garbage. Don't even try it. Even if people are online, racing in this game online is awful. And just there's so many things that just bleed through, showing how poorly this game is programmed. Also, why do they have like stupid like Austin Power reference names? Like Gina Paintball, I-Ring, Ivana Hump a lot. Like, you know, these are funny when you're like 13. But anyways, thank you for, you know, listening to this, and I appreciate you guys a lot. And I hope you join us next time on the next Soulless Reviews. Feel free to donate to our Patreon. That would help a lot. Alright, bye guys.